When you've watched a great presentation, maybe even like some of the TED Talks that I've shown you in this class, you may think, wow, that was a huge deal. I really think that was such a great presentation. And you may think that the presentation was the biggest part of the presentation, but really the presentation that you saw was just the tip of the iceberg. The most substantial part of a presentation is unseen. The part of the presentation that's under the surface of the water is planning and preparation. So when you are required to give your own presentation for my class or for another college class, you'll need to remember that most of your presentation will happen before the presentation time. You'll need to research what you're talking about. You'll need to organize that research into probably some sort of speech outline. You'll need to practice and time yourself. And one way that you can do that is to record yourself so that you can know exactly what you sound like to your audience. So first, let's talk a little bit about research. Research is going to look very similar to what you would do for an essay. You'll need to be sure that you research even more than what you plan to present. Occasionally, your audience will have questions at the end. And if you only know about that topic, what you have presented, how are you going to answer further questions? Really, this even starts with picking your topic, making sure that you're talking about something maybe you already know about. Your professor may give you a certain topic, but if not, and it's left up to you, choose something that you know lots about. Choose a topic you are very familiar with. You'll take that research that you gleaned and put it into an outline, very much like the essay outline. Every presentation, just like an essay, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. For an essay outline, you had to keep it in MLA format and make it look really clean and crisp. But for a speech outline, when you're the only person who's going to be seeing it, you might as well add some notes for yourself. You can make things bold print. You can highlight something that you want to read word for word. You can make notes to yourself to slow down. You can space out the words to remind yourself to slow down. You can use small pictures of the presentation slides you'll be using. Make the outline your own. This will help you to give an extemporaneous speech. That means one that you are not reading. You know enough about your subject and you have practiced enough that you do not have to read it. You just need the simple notes of an outline to help you walk through it. And that leads us to the third way to plan for your speech, which is to practice it. I suggest practicing the first time without timing yourself. Just go through it. See if it makes sense. See if the way that you have organized it sounds like it makes logical sense and goes in a logical order that your audience can follow. Practice it without any pressure. Read through it, pretend you're giving it, and then time it. Get a stopwatch and make sure that you can stay within the time restraints that you've been given. Too short makes it look like you haven't covered enough information. Too long makes it look like you don't care about your audience. If your presentation is too short, you can go back to the research you did and include some more of it into your outline and practice again. If your presentation is too long, you can cut some things out of your outline, or you can ask yourself if you were reading too slowly. Sometimes when you're actually giving the presentation, you may be speaking a little more quickly just because of some nerves. Either way, if you edit the presentation, you'll need to practice it and time it again. And the last way to plan your presentation is to record it. I know it's hard to watch yourself. Believe me, I make so many of these videos and it's very difficult to watch myself and critique myself. However, it's the best way to critique yourself before others critique you. Turn on your smartphone camera or your laptop camera or your iPad camera and record your entire presentation. It's also great that that timestamp on the video will tell you exactly how long your presentation was. You may also want to pull in a friend for this and present in front of your friend or a family member who can give you good feedback on your presentation. And anytime you decide to change that presentation, you'll need to go back to your notes, edit your notes, practice again, time it again, and record it again. Now I'm sure you can see how a presentation is only the tip of the iceberg. So you've got your presentation planned. Now we need to prepare. The night before the presentation, try to get some good sleep. Your brain will be much more alert and ready to present. Try to stay hydrated. Also, try not to drink too much caffeine. Those jitters can really get to you when you're adding them onto the nerves of presenting. Besides, you'll want to stay calm and relaxed. It helps your breath and your voice come out more smoothly during your presentation. Maybe you can do some stretches or yoga or meditation the morning of the presentation. Another thing I like to remind my students is don't wear your distractions. In my class, I don't give a very formal list of what you can and cannot wear during a presentation. This will always depend on your audience. Consider your audience's distractions. If a particular audience could be offended by something you wear, they may not even listen to your presentation. Show your audience that you care by at least considering what you wear. But you're also choosing your wardrobe for yourself. I've noticed for myself that long dangling necklaces or earrings or ringing bracelets are very distracting for me while I'm even teaching. And if they're distracting for me, then they're likely distracting for my audience. All the way until the first word of your presentation, you're still preparing for the presentation. Walk confidently up to the podium. Don't feel the need to rush into your presentation. Get comfortable and take a deep breath. You can even start with a big smile of confidence. And now we're getting to the tip of the iceberg. After you've taken that long breath and started with confidence, let the first words that come out of your mouth capture your audience's attention. Later in the semester, we have another video about introductions and conclusions. But really, those are just emphasizing signposts. Signpost language is the clear language that takes your reader from one point to the next. The first signpost your audience will hear is your introduction. Let it be clear and let it be persuasive in pulling your audience into your first point. You'll have clear signposts throughout, and you can keep this language really simple. You don't have to impress your audience with big words. You're impressing them with organization and clarity. Remember, you've done all the work. You have done all the building of this iceberg. You are standing on a firm foundation. You know what you're talking about. Now you just have to make all of that clear and simple for your audience to understand and follow. And then your last signpost is the conclusion. You have to be really careful about how you give a signpost for a conclusion. As soon as you show the audience that you're wrapping up, they are going to stop listening. You have got to keep this thing powerful and hold on to that momentum throughout the end. Make the conclusion clear and memorable, and also make it brief. Ending your conclusion in the way that you chose is powerful for you as the speaker. Stay confident through the end. Don't let that last signpost get you distracted either. All you need to do is nail the landing and walk away. Make sure you make that landing planned out and easy for yourself. If you've planned it, practiced it, timed it, you won't have any problem leaving the podium proudly.